नमस्कार। स्वागत है आप सबका जो कहानियां लेकर या कहानी की खोज में यहाँ पर आए हैं। आज और कल हमारे बहुत सारे शिक्षक जो पिछले 3-4 महीनों से खुद के ऊपर और कहानियों के ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं, आज और कल वो अपनी कहानियां पेश करने वाले हैं।
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening of Teachers Telling Tales. I, Aprajita, and Ratna will be the hosts for you this evening. And as we have completed the first leg of, and so today we'll celebrate this storytellers, taking you on this journey of an enchanting evening of stories. So, here we believe that storytelling is as much about listening as it is about the telling. So, I request the audience to listen close and listen well because who knows, you might just pick up a story or two to live by. So, over to you, Ratna.
So, yes, I'm sure I'm super excited. So, our first story is a folk tale where Biju falls in love with a lip smacking traditional food. We have too many dishes. Any guesses? Let's welcome Koheli to hear it from her itself about this story.
आज खाने में क्या होगा। हर सुबह नींद से जागते ही बिरजू का पहला ख्याल यही होता था। बिरजू को खाना बहुत अच्छा लगता था। एक दिन बिरजू की बीवी ने कहा, अजी सुनते हो, मुझे मायके जाना है। बिरजू को अपने ससुराल जाना भी बहुत अच्छा लगता था। उसकी सासू माँ उसके लिए नए नए पकवान जो बनाती थी। अगले दिन शाम को थके हारे दोनों ससुराल पहुंचे। सासू माँ ने थोड़ी ही देर में खाना परोसा। क्या महक! जैसे ही बिरजू ने खाना चखा, वाह क्या स्वाद! सासू माँ, ये क्या है? मैंने पहले ऐसा स्वादिष्ट खाना कभी नहीं खाया। जमाई राजा, इसे खिचड़ी कहते हैं। चावल दाल सब्जी मिलाकर उसमें मसाले और घी का छोंक लगाकर इसे बनाते हैं। अच्छा, कल घर जाकर मैं मेरी माँ को खिचड़ी ही बनाने के लिए कहूंगा। अगले दिन सुबह सुबह बिरजू अपनी गांव के लिए रवाना हो गया। खाने का नाम ना भूल जाए इसलिए वो खिचड़ी 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 कहते हुए रास्ते पे चलने लगा। अचानक धड़ाम! उई माँ, मेरा पैर! मगर ये क्या? खाने का नाम? बिरजू भूल चुका था। क्या था? क्या था? हाँ, खाचड़ी। तो अब वो खाचड़ी खाचड़ी कहते हुए रास्ते पे आगे बढ़ने लगा। सामने एक किसान अपनी खेत में बीज बो रहा था। जैसे ही बिरजू उसके पास से गुजरा, उसने सुना खाचड़ी खाचड़ी। ये सुनकर किसान को बड़ा गुस्सा आया। पास पे पड़ी हुई एक लाठी उठाकर उसने बिरजू की दे दनादन पिटाई की। डरा घबराया हुआ बिरजू पूछा, मैंने किया क्या है? किसान ने कहा, मैं इतनी देर से बीज बोने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं और तू बोल रहा है खाचड़ी। तो मैं क्या बोलूं? बोल, उड़चिड़ी। तो अब बिरजू उड़चिड़ी कहते हुए रास्ते पे आगे बढ़ने लगा। सामने एक बहलिया जाल बिछाकर पंछी पकड़ने की कोशिश कर रहा था। जैसे ही बिरजू उसके पास से गुजरा, उसने सुना, उड़ चिड़ी, उड़ चिड़ी। ये सुनकर बहेलिए को बड़ा गुस्सा आया। वो दौड़ के गया और बिरजू की दे दनादन पिटाई करने लगा। फिर से परेशान बिरजू अब पूछा, अरे इस बार मैंने क्या किया? मैं जाल बिछाकर पंछी पकड़ने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं और तू बोल रहा है उड़ चिड़ी। तो मैं क्या बोलूं? बोल, आ चिड़ी, आ चिड़ी। तो अब बिरजू आ चिड़ी कहते हुए रास्ते पे आगे बढ़ने लगा। शाम हो रही थी। बिरजू गांव के पास पहुंच ही गया था, मगर उसे बड़ी जोर की भूख लगी थी। सामने एक खाने की दुकान दिखी। बिरजू अंदर जाकर दुकानदार से कहा, ओ दुकानदार भैया, मेरे लिए एक थाली आचड़ी ला दो। दुकानदार परेशान होकर बिरजू को घूरने लगा। आचड़ी? आचड़ी जैसा कोई खाना नहीं होता। बिरजू हंसा। अरे क्या कह रहे हो? कल ही मेरी सासू माँ ने मुझे आचड़ी खिलाया है, तुम्हें बनाना नहीं आता होगा। ये सुनकर दुकानदार को बड़ा गुस्सा आया। उसने आसपास के सब लोगों को बुलाया और कहा, देखो देखो, इस पागल को आचड़ी खाना है। चलो आज सब मिलकर इसे आचड़ी खिलाते हैं। और ये कहते ही सब मिलकर बिरजू की दे दनादन पिटाई करने लगे। इत्तेफाक से बिरजू की माँ वहीं से गुजर रही थी। इतना हल्ला सुनकर वो दुकान के अंदर आ गई। भीड़ को हटाकर जैसे ही उसने वहां बिरजू को देखा, वो चीखी, हे भगवान, तुम लोगों ने तो मार मार कर मेरी बेटे की खिचड़ी ही बना डाली। ये सुनकर बिरजू की आंखें चमक उठी। उसके चेहरे पर एक मुस्कान छा गई और उसने कहा, हाँ हाँ, मुझे खिचड़ी ही तो खानी है। थैंक यू।
कोहेली
थैंक यू सो मच कोहेली, इस कहानी के लिए और इस मजेदार खिचड़ी के लिए। कैसा महसूस हो रहा है अभी कहानी सुना के?
मैं तो बहुत नर्वस थी, मगर now right now I feel a lot of relief and seeing so many smiling faces enjoying. I think hopefully everyone was enjoying. So I also enjoyed the process very much, and that gave me a lot of pepped me up. कि मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा ये कहानी शेयर करके सबके साथ। या
वेयर डिड यू फाइंड दिस स्टोरी? कहाँ मिली आपको ये कहानी?
तो मैं कोलकाता में बेस्ड हूँ और मैं एक छोटी सी लाइब्रेरी बेस्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन चलाती हूँ। काफी बच्चों के साथ और अडल्ट्स के साथ काम करना का मौका मिलता है। बच्चों का बहुत ही फेवरेट स्टोरी है, जो वो सुनना बहुत पसंद करते हैं। इससे पहले मैंने ये किताब, ये एक एकलव्य की किताब है, जो हिंदी में और कई अन्य भाषा में भी अवेलेबल है। तो वो मैं पढ़ के सुनाती थी बच्चों को। मगर मुझे लगा कि अगर मैं ये किताब के अलावा छोड़कर उसे सिर्फ सुनाऊं एज अ स्टोरी, तो वो कैसा रहेगा। तो इसीलिए मैंने ये स्टोरी ट्राई की।
तो इसके बाद आ रही है हमारी अगली कहानीकार मनीषा, लेकर कहानी अक्कू हुई गुस्सा। तो चलिए सुने, जाने जरा सी ये प्यारी सी बच्ची, इतनी छोटी सी बच्ची, इतनी ज्यादा नाराज क्यों है आखिर।
स्कूल की घंटी बजी। छुट्टी की घंटी। सारे बच्चे इधर से उधर भागने लगे, शोर मचाने लगे। घर जो जाना था, सिर्फ एक बच्ची के, अक्कू। वो अपनी जगह से टस से मस नहीं हिली। अक्कू गुस्सा थी। अक्कू के अपाए उसको घर ले जाने के लिए। अक्कू, चलो, घर चलने का टाइम हो गया है। हम्म, क्या हुआ? गुस्सा हो? अक्कू के अप्पा और अक्कू साइकिल पे चल पड़े घर के लिए। और पूरे रास्ते अप्पा ने अक्कू को बहलाने की बहुत कोशिश करी। अरे अक्कू, देखो तो कितने सुंदर सूरजमुखी के फूल फूल है। मुझे नहीं देखने, कितने पीले हैं, मेरी आंखें चौंधी आ रही हैं। अच्छा वो देखो, उस छत के ऊपर कितने सारे बंदर बैठे हुए हैं। मुझे नहीं देखने बंदर, बेकार बंदर, मैं भगा दूंगी बंदर को। अक्कू बहुत गुस्सा थी। अप्पा और अक्कू घर पहुंचे। अप्पा अक्कू के लिए खाना लेके आए। अक्कू, ये लो, छाछ पी लो, थोड़ी ठंडक मिलेगी। नहीं पीनी मुझे छाछ। एक घूंट पी के देखो। और एक घूंट बोल के अक्कू पूरी छाछ पी गई। फिर अप्पा अक्कू के लिए वड़े लाए। अक्कू, वड़े खा लो। लेके जाओ, नहीं खाने वड़े। एक गस्सा खा के देखो ना। ठीक है। और एक गस्सा बोल के अक्कू सारे वड़े खा गई प्लेट के। अब अप्पा ने पूछा कि क्या हुआ। अच्छा अक्कू, अब मुझे बताओ, क्यों गुस्सा हो? क्या अप्पा ने कुछ कहा? नहीं। मम्मी ने कुछ कहा? नहीं। तो स्कूल में कुछ हुआ? अक्कू चुप थी। अप्पा समझ गए, कुछ तो स्कूल में ही हुआ है। मुस्कुराए और कुछ कागज दिए और रंग दिए। अक्कू, ये लो कुछ रंग और कागज, जरा चित्र बना के बताओ तो क्या हुआ स्कूल में। ठीक है। और अक्कू ने चित्र बनाना शुरू किया। पहला चित्र बनाया उसने ईंट का। ये है वो गंदी ईंट जिससे मैं टकराई और मैं गिर गई। दूसरा चित्र अक्कू ने बनाया एक लड़के का, बबलू। ये है वो गंदा लड़का बबलू, मैं गिरी और ये मुझ पे हंस रहा था। तीसरा चित्र बनाया अक्कू ने इडली का। ये है इडली, मैं गिरी और ये इडली भी गिर गई। उह। चौथा चित्र बनाया अक्कू ने एक कौवे का। ये है कौवा गंदा, मैं गिरी, ये मेरी इडली लेके उड़ गया, फुर। चौथा नहीं, पांचवा चित्र बनाया अक्कू ने एक टीचर का। ये है मेरी कमला मिस, मैं गिरी ना तो इन्होंने मुझे उठाया और गले लगाया, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा। लेकिन फिर उन्होंने मेरे गाल पे चुमटी पड़ी, मेरे को बहुत बुरा लगा। ओहो हो। पर जरा अक्कू, ये तो देखो, तुमने कितने सुंदर चित्र बनाए हैं, तुम कितनी अच्छी कलाकार हो, है ना? अच्छा, जरा मम्मी के लिए भी कुछ बना दो ना, मम्मी बहुत खुश हो जाएंगी। और फिर अक्कू ने बहुत सारे चित्र बनाना शुरू किया मम्मी के लिए। कभी चूहे का, मेंढक का, नारियल के पेड़ का, अप्पा की साइकिल का, मम्मी की गोल गोल रोटी का। और बनाते बनाते अक्कू उस ईंट को भूल गई, उस लड़के बबलू को, इडली को, कौवे को और टीचर की चुमटी को। और उसका गुस्सा छू मंतर हो गया। और अब अक्कू मुस्कुरा रही थी।
थैंक यू मनीषा, आपने इतनी प्यारी सी कहानी सुनाई, ना सिर्फ अक्कू के बारे में पर कैसे कोई अपना गुस्सा एक हंसी में बदल सके उस बारे में। तो कैसा लग रहा है आपको ये कहानी सुनाकर?
अभी काफी रिलीफ और अच्छा लग रहा है. आई एम फीलिंग ग्रेट. यस. एंड थैंक यू फॉर ऑल द लिसनर्स जो आए और हमारी कहानी सुन रहे हैं. एंड थैंक यू अंकित. आई एम फीलिंग सो ग्रेटफुल मुझे इतना सब कुछ स्टोरी टेलिंग के बारे में सिखाने के लिए. एंड आई एम टेकिंग ऑल दी स्किल्स विद मी एंड आई एम गोइंग टू यूज दिस इन माय क्लासरूम. Thank you. And thank you, Miss Swati, for suggesting this story. Very nice story.
Thank you, Manisha. Also, Manisha, would you like to tell us that you're transitioning into a career of teaching after being a researcher, perhaps? So, perhaps tell us why teaching and how is it happening for you?
So I was into scientific research earlier, but gradually I realized that I connect more with children. So I did a course in early childhood education, and in July I'm joining a school, and I'll be working with young children. And I'm really, really excited and looking forward to work with children. And I think I will use this storytelling as my क्या बोलते हैं शस्त्र to connect and bond with children.
Thank you, Manisha, for the work you
I
did
think
and
I
your
used the
performance.
right word.
Yeah. But
You
thank
did,
you
you
for
did.
being in this profession and entering this profession. I think children would be really blessed to have a teacher like you. And thank you so much for the work you did on this.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is also a reminder to the audience because our claps cannot travel these screens. We can rub our hands and show warmth every time a story touches us and we want to express. In the storytelling world, we don't have exams, we don't take grades. So, to be able to work on a story and love a story, that is the test. And to be able to showcase your story in front of public, be vulnerable and accept it. I think that's the kind of certification. So today is both. It's an exam. It's also a day to celebrate. So welcome all the storytellers and the audiences. I can also notice that there are a lot of family members of storytellers. I can see so many students have showed up. So many teachers of teachers have showed up. Their own children have showed up, and their own parents have showed up. So many generations have come together here for the event, and we welcome you once again to the event. And slowly and gradually, we move to our next story. Which is the next story, Ratna?
Yes. Have you ever been into a monastery? It feels like the time has stopped. Now, we are going to hear one of those mind twisting Zen woven tales, Song of a Bird, that challenge the listener's perception of reality or what is possible. So, buckle up, everyone. Let's hear it from Sunanda.
Listen. Can you hear the chanting? That is coming from a Zen monastery. We are in Japan. That's a very old building surrounding a walled garden where there are many trees and from where you can hear birdsong the whole day long. Many monks live in the monastery, some as young as 9, others as old as 90. Except for the very young ones, all the others have chosen to live a life of mindfulness and meditation in search of enlightenment, which Zen Buddhists call Satori. They believe that Satori can be achieved only through intuition or deeply felt experience and not through book learning or scriptures or doctrine. All the monks were happy with their spiritual growth, all except Kaito sensei. Kaito sensei was now in his 50s. He had been living in the monastery for many years, deep in his meditative practice and working in the monastery kitchen and in the garden. He has been content till now, thinking he was progressing on his path, but of late he has been feeling strangely empty, stuck, lost. One morning, the monks had gathered in the meditation hall. It was dawn, absolutely silent, and suddenly a bird started singing.
The sound was so beautiful that Kaito sensei opened his eyes, got up slowly, and started walking towards the garden. It was almost as if a force was pulling him. He went to the garden and stood under the tree with his eyes closed, listening to the song with every fiber of his innermost being. When the song stopped, he opened his eyes. He looked around. He felt as if he had come from a place far away. He started walking slowly inside into the meditation hall, and he's shocked to see all the monks standing there looking at him very strangely. He cannot recognize a single face, and when they ask him his name, and he tells them his name, they cannot recognize him either. This strange incident has been talked about for a long time everywhere, and there are stories about it even in the monastery. Did you hear that there was once a monk in our monastery? He was more than 150 years old. They say he went into the garden and he never came back. Yes, I have heard the story. He went into the garden to listen to a bird sing. But he did come back. He came back after 100 years. They say his listening to the song with such deep attention caused time to stop for him. And when he came back, he realized 100 years had passed. Do you think that is what our teachers call Satori? That he had such an experience? And when he came back, was he different? He was transformed. They say you could see it in his face, in his eyes, the peace, the light. And that is the story of Kaito Sensei, a monk who had an ordinary experience of listening to a bird sing. But this experience transported him to a place beyond time. And when he came back, he had changed in a way the world could not explain or understand. For in the intensity of a deeply felt experience, the self dissolves and makes space for silence and stillness. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunanda. You almost took us to the Zen mode, to the stillness and the silence that you were talking about. You embody that. So we would want to hear some words from you. How do you feel? Where has the story come from?
I don't remember where I read this story. It was a very, very long time ago, but it has stayed with me for so long. And the reason I opted to tell a story again this weekend is because I loved it so much and I wanted to share it with everybody. And of course, this whole process of learning how to tell the story was so difficult, but now that it's over, I feel peaceful.
That is so interesting. I think every time a storyteller has done telling a story, it feels like there was a breath here that was stuck. And the moment the story is out, it has come back to the body. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you, Ankit, for everything, and to this whole group for being so supportive and so happy to listen to everyone. Thank you.
So, next, we have a very interesting story. Have you ever heard a story that made you melt into a curious puddle of hope and goodness? Well, get ready because today we have the story of X by Uditi. It's curious, clever, and just a little bit mysterious. Over to you, Uditi.
Once upon a time, a baby was born. Now you're probably wondering, 5 babies are born per second. So what's so special about this baby? Well, this baby was born neither a boy nor a girl. Now you can probably imagine how that threw everyone for a loop. The grandparents didn't know what to say. Didn't know what to call their child, whether they should call them handsome beta or sundar beti. The aunts didn't know whether to rush and buy pink clothes or blue clothes. The uncles didn't know whether they would become a doctor or a teacher. So when they took the baby home, of course, the neighbors started crowding around. They started asking, "Arey, arey, kya hai? Hame bhi batao." Then they met nothing but silence. They started whispering amongst each other. They said, "जरूर लड़की होगी, तभी इतने चुप है." At that, the father said, "हमारा बीवी तो X है." Confusion. The women started cackling. भाई X क्या होता है? Some of the aunts started whispering to the uncles, "Is it like a body spray?" Some of the grandparents started whispering to other grandparents, "Is it like a cutting tool?" Some of the neighbors started whispering to other neighbors, "Is it like an alphabet?" The mother said, "It's like a baby. It's our baby." Now that they had taken on this challenge, the first thing they had to do was, of course, name the baby. So for 35 long hours, they pondered and thought and introspected and finally arrived at X. For how else would you describe this extraordinary, exceptional, inexplicable addition to their family? Now that the baby was named, they had to become the parents of this baby. So, of course, the first thing they did was go online and find an instruction manual written by experienced parents, which told them that as the baby grew, they had to both feed the baby, clothe the baby, hold the baby, cuddle the baby, and love the baby as much as they could. And so they did. Soon it was time for X to go to school. Now that had the parents really worried because the world is full of rules for boys and girls, but are there any rules for X's? They didn't really know. So X was finally ready. However, when they went to school, the classmates weren't. They had never seen an X. They had never met an X. They had never heard their grown-ups say, oh, I'm friends with an X. So they crowded around them and started asking them questions, tricky questions like, hey, so what's your favorite sports star? Or, so what's your favorite toy? The answers, however, satisfied no one. All that created was more confusion, so they gave up. After school that day, X really wanted to play with the other children. So they went up to the girls and said, "Hey, can we go to the basketball court and play basketball, please?" The girls turned up their noses and walked away. But the boys started giggling and whispering and saying, "Boy, is he weird?" So X went to the boys and said, Can we play? Can we go to the arts and craft center and weave together baskets, please?" Now it was the boys' turn to turn up their noses and walk away. And it was the girls' turn to start whispering and giggling and saying, "Boy, is she weird?" That day, when X went back home, they had two big tears in their eyes. Their mother asked, "So, how was school?" They said in a very small voice, "The lessons were okay, but, mm, I think the other children hate me." "Hate you?" their father asked. So, of course, they had to consult the instruction manual. It said, don't worry about it. All they have to do is be themselves. So, the one thing about X was that they loved being themselves. However, when they went to bed at night that day in the arms of their parents, they cried a lot. The next day, however, they woke up bright and warm and went to school with a brave smile. That day, there was a spelling bee and a relay race and a dancing contest. X won the spelling bee and the relay race and almost won the dancing contest, except they forgot to play the music. Now, let's face it, folks, nobody of us is perfect. Yeah? So, soon enough, other children started noticing really funny things about X. They started saying, this X, they don't really care too much about winning and losing. They are having too much fun doing boy stuff and girl stuff. The other children also started thinking and musing, come to think of it, X is having twice as much fun as we are. So, some really funny things started to happen to the children as well. Some of the girls started to refuse to wear long, frilly pink skirts because they said that, it made climbing the jungle gym very difficult. Some of the boys started to bring their robots to class and whispering lullabies to them because they're seen X do it. But the worst came when the twins started sharing everything with each other. Soon enough, the girl twin became proficient at fixing all kinds of broken things and playing hockey and finding the tiniest thing in the microscope. And the boy twin became proficient at cooking up wonderful meals and embroidering every surface he could find and arranging their rooms just so. However, the parents weren't one bit pleased. In fact, they were furious. They said, this is all that X's fault. They don't know what they are, and they're mixing everybody else up. So they forbid their children from playing with X. Soon enough, the parents of other children followed. However, something had changed. Children had discovered something very important, very secret. They had discovered how to have twice as much fun. So they refused to go back to the way things were. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Uditi, for sharing that very powerful story and such a positive one. And how do you feel right now?
Covered in sweat, very moist, but actually very happy. To be very honest, very happy because yeah, it's a very important story to me, and I'm very happy to have had the opportunity to share this with you.
Uditi, can you tell us where this story comes from?
This story was actually introduced to me by my university professor, who I think knew something of me before I knew something of myself. So I'm very thankful to her for that. And this was actually a very interesting story. It was published once. When it was published as a short story in a magazine in 1972. So it's not a recent story at all. And it did look at the world. It did look at, like, realistically look at a world that was not binaries. So it's a beautiful story.
Thank you for bringing that old story in this new form. And how does it feel to be yourself, Uditi, and having told this story now?
Uh, So, as a lot of you probably know, I wasn't the most vocal during storytelling sessions because I'm actually very conscious during performances. So, the fact that I share this story means a lot. And I'm so happy that so many of you were there throughout this entire process to support me and just like be there and say, you know, it's okay. You're doing okay. So I'm actually very happy and thankful. Like to so many people, to Ankit, to Swati. Swati was a lifesaver. I practiced the most with her. And everybody. Oh, all of the people who are here who came to listen to the story, including Rose and Tanmay and Priyadarshini and all the rest of the people who we have swapped stories with. So I'm very happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi, for this story and also for naming some of the people who have come here to see you. We're also blessed. I just noticed in the audience are two of my dear friends and some of the favorite people I know. We have Lieutenant Commander Dilna and Lieutenant Commander Rupa, two Navy officers who have just come back home after circumnavigating the Earth for 8 months, they went on a sailboat and circumnavigated the whole earth. It was journey of a lifetime, and just hearing about it gives us goosebumps. And they have passed through the three great capes, as they call it, passing through New Zealand and South America and Africa. In this journey, they also passed through Drake Passage, which is considered like the Everest for sailors. And they also went to a point which is called Point Nemo, which is considered the remotest place on Earth, from where the nearest humans are actually those in the space stations. So they went to the exact coordinates, and they have fascinating stories of how they made it to that point that day, and throughout this journey. So I really welcome and I'm very grateful that you have showed up here. And I would really love for you to continue being here, listen to some more of our stories. And we'll wait for a day when you'll also be here for all of us to share your stories of this great adventure of a lifetime. So thank you, Dilna. Thank you, Rupa. If at all you want to speak something, you're very free to unmute yourself and speak, and then we can move on.
Thank you very much, Ankit. This is Rupa, and we are very grateful to Ankit because of him.
We can
Sorry.
see you.
Yeah. So because of him, we were able to tell a story to people in a better way. I would say that he enabled us and he introduced us to the world of storytelling, and he made us realize there's more to it's there's more and more you can we I really came to know that one can do a PhD in storytelling only through him. So there's more to the world and to the life, and he's like a very beautiful individual who we have met, and we are continuing to be friends with him. And thank you, Ankit, for the introduction.
Yes, and we really look forward to listening to all the stories that you have been keeping in your belly. In the last event, we actually had a story about people who have stories in the belly and who do not tell those stories, what happens to them. And so we really look forward to the time when we can welcome you in this session and hear more and more of your stories. Thank you for being here, Rupa, and thank you for being here, Dilla. Dilla, are you also here? Do you want to say something?
Hello, Ankit. Thank you so much for inviting us for this beautiful event. Ankit, thank you. Because of you, we were able to tell our stories and we were able to articulate it much better way. And when you told us to write our stories in like a childhood and the entire journey, we were able to express it more, and you gave us the confidence to express ourselves. And thank you so much, Ankit. We are looking forward to have more sessions with you, talk to you, and get better in it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's an honor for all of us to witness you, and we look forward to hearing more of your stories. Thank you, Dilna.
Welcome back, everyone, from the break. It was quite an interesting break, and uh, a lot of breakdowns during the break. But now I think we are back with the show. We have a very interesting story coming to us from western part of the country. This is from a place where humans and nature are so close together that their stories are often intertwined. So bringing this story to us is Radha, and we welcome Radha, and we are ready to hear her story. Over to you, Radha, whenever you are ready.
So, today's story is from a Marathi novel called Savitri. Savitri was written by Marathi author Pushi Rege in 1960s. And this novel has letters written by Savitri to her friend. You know what I mean. And in these letters, the author beautifully unfolds their relationship dynamic while they also reflect on their lives. So in the first letter, Savitri decides to share a story from her childhood that her grandmother told her when she was young. Now let's see why she decides to share this story with her friend in the first letter. So, once upon a time, there was a small village surrounded by beautiful Nilgiri mountains. And just next to the village, near the jungle, there was a small hut. In that hut lived an old woman and her granddaughter called Lachi. One day, the grandma was working inside the hut and Lachi was playing outside in the garden. And Lachi saw a peacock. She was so happy that she started dancing. Seeing Lachi dance, the peacock also started dancing. And Lachi jumped, and the peacock jumped, and Lachi took swirls, and the peacock took swirls, and they danced together beautifully. But then came a time when the peacock had to leave. Lachi was really sad. She ran to her grandma and said, Grandma, please stop him. Please don't let him go. We will tie him to the fence and we will feed him every day. Lachi, let him go. It's time for him to go now. And we don't have enough food to feed him. But Lachi didn't give up. She kept insisting. And the grandma kept explaining it to her. Then the peacock came forward. And he said, wait, let's do one thing. I will come every day. You don't need to feed me. There's a whole jungle I can feed from. But I have one condition. Whenever I come, Lachi has to dance. Lachi was so happy. She agreed quickly. The grandma was also relieved. So they all agreed. And the peacock left. After the peacock left, Lachi's grandma spoke to her. Lachi, नाचायचं म्हणजे काही साधी गोष्ट नाही हा. हुकमावरून नाचायचं म्हणजे मनही तसंच हवं. Lachi, dancing on someone else's order is not an easy thing. You must be in the mood. You should feel like dancing. So Lachi thought to herself, She decided, I will always be happy. So whenever he comes, I will feel like dancing. So on some days, the peacock came. Lachi danced, the peacock danced, they danced together. On some days, the peacock didn't show up. As the days passed, the peacock stopped coming. But Lachi kept dancing. So, when Savitri's grandma told her this story, grandma never shared the moral of the story. But Savitri thought to herself, म्हणजे मोर हवा तर आपणच मोर व्हायचं. आपल्याला जे जे हवं ते आपणच व्हायचं. If you want a peacock, you must become a peacock yourself. Whatever you desire to have, you must become that yourself. So this was the first letter that Savitri wrote to her friend. Maybe now you have a better idea of why she wrote and why she said that to her friend.
एक बंदर जिसका नाम था मोलू। वो बंदर रोज एक डाल से दूसरे डाल कूदता, खूब सारे आम तोड़ता, खाता और नए नए दोस्त बनाने की रुचि रखता। एक दिन जब वो बंदर अपनी डाल से नीचे झांक रहा था, उसे देखा एक मगरमच्छ। ये तो एक नया दोस्त बनाने का बहुत ही अच्छा मौका है। उसने पेड़ से एक आम तोड़ा और उस मगरमच्छ की दुम पर दे मारा। वो मगरमच्छ जो सो रहा था, वो थोड़ा घबराया। उसने फिर देखा कि ऊपर एक बंदर उसको देखकर हंस रहा था। हा हा हा, अरे खा लो, ये आम तुम्हारे ही लिए है। वो मगरमच्छ थोड़ा घबराया, हिचकिचाया, पर उसको वो आम तो बड़ा ही स्वादिष्ट दिख रहा था। उसने वो आम लिया और चुस्कियां लेकर खाया। और यहाँ से शुरू हुई एक आम, दाल, बंदर और मगरमच्छ की दोस्ती की एक प्यारी सी कहानी। वो लोग रोज दोपहर में मिलते, खूब सारे आम इकट्ठा करते, खाते और मजे करते। एक दिन जब मगरमच्छ बंदर के पास नदी के किनारे पहुंचा, उसने उससे पूछा, आम क्या तुम मेरे भाई के लिए थोड़े से आम दे सकते हो? बंदर, जो कि दोस्त बनाने में बड़ा ही माहिर था, उसने बोला, अरे हाँ जरूर, ये लो ये लो ये लो। उसने खूब सारे आम तोड़े और उस मगरमच्छ को दिए। उस मगरमच्छ ने खूब सारे आम देखकर बहुत खुश हुआ और उसने सारे आम समेटे और वो धीमे धीमे लहराते हुए खुशी में उस नदी के दूसरे पार पहुंचा, जहां पर उसका बड़ा सा मगरमच्छ भाई रोज खाने का इंतजार करता था। वो रोज अपने भाई के वजह से खाने के लिए बैठा रहता था। और उस दिन उसने आमों को देखकर खूब चुस्के ले लेकर खाया। वो आम खाता जा रहा, कुछ सोचता जा रहा, फिर खाया, कुछ सोचा। ये देखकर उसका छोटा भाई मगरमच्छ पूछा, आ भाई तुम इतना क्या सोच रहे हो? उस बड़े से मगरमच्छ ने अपना मुंह खोला और आम खाने से ब्रेक लेकर बोला, वो बंदर जो रोज इतने स्वादिष्ट आम खाता है, उसका जिगर कितना मीठा होगा। मगरमच्छ थोड़ा घबराया। उसने वो जिगर पर वो बंदर तो मेरा दोस्त है। उस बड़े मगरमच्छ ने उसकी एक न सुनी। उसने बोला, तुम कल उस बंदर का जिगर मेरे लिए लेकर आओगे। वो मगरमच्छ हक्का बक्का रह गया। उसने सोचा कि क्या वो उस पूरी रात नहीं सो पाया। वो सोच में डूबा रहा और जैसे ही सुबह हुई, उसने अपने आप को समेटा और धीमे धीमे नदी के उस पार गया। दोपहर होते ही जब उसके बंदर दोस्त ने नीचे झांका, उसने ऊपर देखा और बोला, क्या तुम मेरे भाई से भी दोस्ती करना चाहोगे? बंदर, जो कि रोज दोस्त बनाना चाहता था, वो तो खुशी से फूला न समाया। उसने बोला, हाँ हाँ, चलो चलो तुम्हारे भाई से मिलते हैं। वो फुदक के जाकर उस मगरमच्छ की पीठ पर बैठ गया और धीमे धीमे रोते बिलखते, पर बंदर को ना एहसास होते हुए, वो मगरमच्छ लेकर उसको नदी के बीच पहुंचा। और नदी के बीचों बीच थोड़ी से आंसुओं की खनखनाहट उस बंदर को सुनाई दी। और उस बंदर ने देखकर बोला, अरे ये क्या, मगरमच्छ के आंसू? उस मगरमच्छ ने बोला, कुछ नहीं उसने बोला, अरे तुम तो रो रहे हो। वो दरअसल मेरे भाई को तुम्हारा जिगर खाना है। बंदर ये सुनकर थोड़ा सा घबराया, पर उसने बोला, अरे अरे मैं मेरा जिगर, तुम मेरे जिगर के टुकड़े, अरे मैं अपना जिगर तो वहां डाल पर सुखाने के लिए रख कर आया हूँ। चलो चलो मुझे वापस वहां ले चलो, और वहां पर मैं तुम्हें अपना जिगर जरूर दूंगा। मगरमच्छ थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हुआ, पर उसने बोला, हाँ ठीक है। उसने अपना एक आंसू पोंछा और वो लेकर तुरंत धीमे 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 वापस जिगर के लिए वापस उस डाल की तरफ पहुंचा। और जैसे ही वो उस डाल पर पहुंचा, बंदर फुदक कर अपनी डाल पर वापस गया और उसने कभी मुड़कर नहीं देखा। मगरमच्छ ने काफी देर इंतजार करा, पर उसको समझ आया कि उसने अपना एक बहुत ही अच्छा सच्चा दोस्त और काफी स्वादिष्ट आम हमेशा के लिए खो दिए थे।
थैंक यू ट्विंकल। आपने बचपन की भी याद दिला दी और इतना प्यारा सा मॉरल भी कहीं ना कहीं हमें समझा दिया। तो कैसा लग रहा है आपको अब ये कहानी सुनाकर हमें?
ये बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग एक्सपीरियंस रहा है, और जैसे कि आप लोग जो ऑलरेडी वर्कशॉप में से जुड़े हुए थे, आपको पता ही है कि ये स्टोरी बहुत ही दिस इज अ वेरी क्लोज टू द स्टोरी इज वेरी क्लोज टू माय हार्ट, बिकॉज आई रिमेम्बर माय ग्रैंडफादर यूज्ड टू टेल मी द स्टोरी, and there was a part of the story which I had forgotten, so I had called my mother one day and then asked her कि कैसे क्या होता है स्टोरी में, the flow of it, and it's just very special to me. And thank you so much to Ankit for giving us this platform, and thank you to all the participants of the workshop who've been so kind and supportive throughout this process for me and for others. And it's been very heartwarming to be a part of this. I'm just like very happy, and yeah, thank you. That's all that I want to say.
Twinkle, I
We
can
did
also
really
see in
well.
the audience, perhaps there are some members of your family here and listening to the story. Is that right?
Yes, I think my parents have joined in. Yeah, I can see.
All right. Um, yeah. If the parents, I can see the parents if they want to unmute and say anything to Twinkle. अगर आप मेरी आवाज सुन पा रहे हैं और आपने ये कहानी अभी अभी सुनी है, और अगर आप अपनी बेटी से कुछ भी कहना चाहें तो अभी बहुत अच्छा टाइम है। हाउ इज इट फॉर यू टू हियर दिस स्टोरी? आप म्यूट पर हैं, आपको खुद को अनम्यूट करना होगा।
हेलो।
जी।
लवली ट्विंकल, बहुत अच्छा स्टोरी सुनाया तुमने। मजा आया। थैंक यू सो मच अंकित एंड ऑल ऑफ यू। थैंक यू।
Thank you. Thank you so much. It feels so nice for the families who are so far apart, living from each other, coming and meeting here in the middle of telling and listening to stories. That is very special.
थैंक यू सो मच।
So, thank you so much for the family members for showing up, and it's really special for Twinkle. Also, I think this process was also very special for Twinkle because she's a social worker and she works in really challenging work circumstances where she had absolutely no time to prepare, and she was really short on time, but she worked really hard in the last 2 3 days to pull herself up for this performance. It was until late night yesterday that she was still working on the story, and at 11:30 she got a poster made, and just to see the excitement of making it happen was really special. So thank you so much, Twinkle, for taking this challenge. And Twinkle, would you like to tell us a little bit about your work? What do you do, and how do you imagine stories somewhere in the middle of your work?
Yeah, so I'm currently working with an NGO which works with children and young people across Bombay. And so we do workshops with these young people, and to see their energy and their creative expression, it was really I felt that this was something which is really important that I learn as a facilitator. And I thank the whole workshop, the participants and everyone who made it such a joyful process, that I also want to bring that in the form of workshops, in form of small learning session spaces for the young people we work with. Maybe I would love to invite you people also to join in, if anytime, if you are around in Bombay, and we could do these small workshops with them. And because they have that skill, they have their stories, and they have these, because today in the morning itself I was in a school, we were doing a workshop, we were doing a theater improv workshop, in fact. And it was really very nice to see how, despite of being shy and holding back, in the first workshop itself there was so much joy that they were bringing out and they were expressing. So yeah, I think I've spoken a lot, but yeah, that's what I want to see. I see myself doing that. And thanks a lot to Ankit for being so patient all this while and being so supportive and pushing me a bit by bit to, like, you could do this, you could do that. And thank you so much, really.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Twinkle. I think with your presence, we are also imagining how to shape this space, because we initially imagined that this would be a space for teachers and teachers as people who work with children. But eventually, we realized there are so many more of us: the social workers, the psychologists, those who are learning to be teachers, and all of them also have deep empathy for children and this wish to create more and more spaces where such stories can come out. So I think with your presence and that of other helping professionals, I think the whole course and the whole community got enriched, and the kind of insights that you can bring from the field and the kind of challenges that you can name for us to solve, I think that was quite enriching for us. So thank you for your presence, and thank you for working on the story, and thank you for coming here and graduating with all of your peers, making it despite your very demanding work schedule. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you.
Okay. By this time, I think by graces of the gods, even Nupur's internet and the sound device have started working again. So we would like to welcome Nupur. Nupur, if we'll be putting you on a spotlight, and in a few
Sure.
seconds, whenever you're ready, you can get started.
ॐ ब्रह्माय नमः। ॐ ब्रह्माय नमः। ॐ ब्रह्माय नमः। कुछ इसी प्रकार हर रोज घंटों बैठे महिषासुर ब्रह्मा जी की आराधना पूजा में बैठा लीन उनकी याद में भजन पूजन करता रहता। और ऊपर देवलोक में बैठे ब्रह्मा जी उसको खुश होकर के देखते और सोचते, एक दिन मुझे इस भक्त से जरूर मिलने जाना होगा। बस फिर किस बात की देर थी। उतर आए वह देवलोक से अपने उस भक्त के आगे, उसके सिर पर यूं हाथ रखते हुए बोले, वत्स उठो, आंखें खोलो, देखो मैं तुमसे मिलने आया हूं। तुम्हारे भक्ति भाव से मैं बेहद प्रसन्न हूं। मांग लो, जो जी में आए वो मांग लो। आज मैं तुम्हें आशीर्वाद और वरदान देने आया हूं। एक अनजानी सी आवाज सुन के ज्यों महिषासुर ने अपनी आंखें खोली, उसने अपने आगे ब्रह्मा जी को देखा। वो एक छोटे बच्चे की तरह झरझर रो पड़ा। उसने पकड़ लिए भगवान के पांव और बोला, हे प्रभु, आपने मुझे अपने दर्शन देकर धन्य कर दिए। अब मैं आपसे मांगू भी तो क्या मांगू, मांगू भी तो क्या मांगू। और यूं आई जब मांग की बात, तो महिषासुर के मन में लोभ आ गया और उसने लोभ के वश में आकर ब्रह्मा जी से अपने अमरत्व की याचना कर दी। उसने बोला, हे भगवान, मुझे आशीर्वाद दीजिए कि मैं बस जीता ही चला जाऊं, जीता ही चला जाऊं, और इन तीनों लोकों में मुझे कोई भी आदमी कभी भी किसी प्रकार का नुकसान ना पहुंचा सके।
इतनी सी बात थी। ब्रह्मा जी ने अपने भक्त के मांग पर अपनी तथास्तु की मुहर रखी और मुस्कुराते हुए ऊपर देवलोक वापस चले गए। यूं उधर ब्रह्मा जी देवलोक वापस गए और इधर महिषासुर के चाल में ही बदलाव आ गया। वह तो मतवाली चाल चल पड़ा। अब उसे पूजा याचना में मन बिल्कुल ना लगता। वह सारा दिन बैठकर योजना बनाता कि कहाँ किसको जाकर के वो तंग करे, किसको परेशान करे, कहाँ तबाही मचाए, कहाँ लोगों को खून खराबा फैलाए। और ऐसा करते उसे बेहद मजा आता। पृथ्वी लोक पर यह सब करते जब उसका मन ना भरा तो वो जा पहुंचा देवलोक और वहां जाकर देवी देवताओं के संग भी वह ये सब करने लगा। देवी देवता बेचारे बहुत परेशान होते और अपने तरह से महिषासुर को समझाने की कोशिश करते, लेकिन महिषासुर कहाँ किसी का सुनने वाला था। वह किसी का एक न सुनता और अपनी मनमानी करता जाता। तब भगवान सब ने मिल करके यह तय किया कि वह ब्रह्मा जी के साथ जाकर के इसके बारे में सलाह परामर्श करेंगे। ब्रह्मा जी ने बहुत गौर से उनकी परेशानियों को सुना और फिर उनको एक महायज्ञ करने का सुझाव दिया। ब्रह्मा जी ने अपने शंखनाद से इस महायज्ञ के शुरू होने का ऐलान किया। देखते ही देखते सारे देवी देवता जो भी उस देवलोक में थे सभी वहां ब्रह्मा जी के इर्द गिर्द आके प्रस्तुत हुए। और फिर जब वहां मौजूद 33 कोटि देवी देवताओं ने एक साथ उन महामंत्रों का उच्चारण करना शुरू किया तो पूरा देवलोक तरंगित हो उठा। फिर बारी आई हवन में आहुति डालने की। तो आज जो है ब्रह्मा जी ने सब देवी देवताओं को यह सुझाव दिया कि हवन कुंड में जब आहुति डालोगे तो अपने अंदर से शक्ति का एक हिस्सा निकाल के आहुति के रूप में डालोगे। और जब सबने यूं किया तो उस हवन कुंड से एक अलौकिक लौ प्रज्वलित हुई और उसी अलौकिक लौ के ठीक बराबर में उपस्थित हुई हमारी शक्ति रूपी देवी माँ। उस माँ के मुख पर एक अलग किस्म का तेज था। उस माँ के खुले हुए लंबे काले केश थे, उनके कमल नयन थे और तो और उनके एक नहीं, दो नहीं, तीन नहीं, चार नहीं, 5 6 7 8 9 10 उनकी पूरी 10 की 10 भुजाएं थी। वहां उपस्थित सभी देवी देवताएं उनको देखकर मंत्र मुग्ध हो गए और देखते ही देखते उनमें से कुछ देवी देवताओं ने अपने अस्त्रों और शस्त्रों से उनके 10 भुजाओं को सुसज्जित कर दिया। फिर आए ब्रह्मा जी आगे बढ़कर और उन्होंने देवी माँ के सिर पर हाथ रखते हुए बोला, जा देवी माँ जा, पृथ्वी लोक पर जा और उस महिषासुर का संहार कर। फिर किस बात की देर थी, मां सवार हुई अपने वाहन सिंह पर और सीधे जा पहुंची पृथ्वी लोक और वहां जाकर उन्होंने महिषासुर को ललकारा, हे महिषासुर तू कहाँ बैठा है, आ निकल कर आ और मेरा सामना कर। महिषासुर इस प्रकार के ललकार का बिल्कुल भी आदी न था। वो गुस्से से तमतमाया और बोला, ये किसकी जरूरत जिसने मुझे इस प्रकार पुकारा। गुस्से में तमतमाता हुआ महिषासुर उठा सीना चौड़ा करके और कदम आगे बढ़ाते हुए जब उसने जाकर देखा तो क्या देखा कि वो तो देवी माँ थी। देवी माँ को देखकर महिषासुर अट्टहास हंसते हुए बोला, ये अबला नारी ये मेरा क्या ही बिगाड़ेगी। दोनों उस समय रौद्र रूप में थे, दोनों एक दूसरे का सामना कर रहे थे और उसी बीच ना जाने कब मां ने ली अपनी बर्छी और उतार दी उस महिषासुर के गर्दन के नीचे और उसको सदा सदा के लिए चुप करा दिया। लेकिन अगर माँ ने उस महिषासुर को सदा सदा के लिए उस दिन चुप करा दिया, तो फिर वो कौन है जो जब देखो तब मचाते रहते हैं तबाही? तो फिर वो कौन है जो हमारे चारों तरफ हर समय आतंक फैलाते रहते हैं? मुझे लगता है जगाना होगा, माँ को एक बार फिर से जगाना होगा। और एक बार नहीं, माँ को बार बार आना होगा, बार बार आना होगा, बार बार आना होगा। जागो, তুমি जागो, जागो दुर्गा, जागो दश প্রহরণ ধারিণী, অভয়া শক্তি তুমি প্রদায়িনী, তুমি জাগো, জাগো, তুমি জাগো।
That was so
Thank
lovely, ma'am.
you, thank you. My God, it was such a commotion in the beginning. That is what it happens with technology. You can never depend with all the tech rehearsals and the last minute tech check. I don't know what happened. And finally, I had to get rid of the earplugs, and I did it directly through the laptop audio. And of course, one tends to get a little shaken up with all that, and that is what happened. But I
You
think I was somehow able to pull it along.
you definitely overcame the media ka Mahishasur. How do you feel? And something about your
How
journey.
how did I feel about the journey? Okay, and everybody has spoken so much, and all the while we are talking about this, but nonetheless, it was a fabulous journey which began in the month of March. And every week we would wait for the Tuesdays, and there would be some learning, and there would be some kind of a repetition, and there would be some kind of a revisit. But nonetheless, everything kept adding and adding, and the final product is here on screen. I am performing for the first time on screen. So I realized that, in person, when you perform, it's a very different experience altogether. And when it is on screen and it is a performance, it is not that easy. It is really not easy. So that was my learning. And learning has no age, learning has no time. So every day is new learning. And I am loving to learn new things every day. So that's that.
Yeah, thank you,
And I
Nupur.
feel that, through stories, it is basically a little bit of you that keeps coming out of your stories. As a storyteller, you keep sharing a little bit of you, a little more, a little bit of you, a little more. So it leaves me with a very happy, feeling, and a very grateful note that we get an opportunity to share ourselves this way every now and then through storytelling.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Nupur. And one thing also special about Nupur as a learner is that Nupur is towards the end of her teaching journey. She has taught for decades. And now
You know,
she's,
Ankit, I'm sorry to cut. This was the first time in this year that I did not share this from my end, because I'm the first one to say that, this is my last year of, technically talking, this is the last year of my job. This is my retirement year. For the first time, I didn't say, but you mentioned. I'm glad about that.
yeah, and this makes it very special because now you have a long career waiting for you to volunteer and carry stories beyond schools because you have been telling stories for long as a storyteller and as a teacher. But now we also look forward to a very enriching career of actually volunteering and taking stories beyond where they currently are. So I think we are really looking forward to that. And you're going to be a gift for the communities where you will go and serve with your stories. Thank you so much, Nupur. And also thank you for taking us this challenge this technology is can betray us anytime when we just saw it.
Yes,
And to still collect
absolutely.
yourself and come back and tell the story with all the Shakti and the Rodrup that it needed. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Next performer is Sanskriti. You might remember her from her last time performance. One thing about Sanskriti is she loves philosophy, and today she's going to tell us a tale from one of her favorite philosophers. So let's welcome Sanskriti with her story बाहर से इंसान अंदर से कौन.
बहुत समय पहले पुराने ग्रीस में एक आदमी रहा करता था। नाम था उसका डायोजनीज। फटे कपड़े पहनता था, बदन पे मिट्टी लगी रहती थी, एक बड़े से गमले को अपना घर समझता था। एक दिन भरे दोपहर में हाथ में दिया लेके बाजार चला गया। उधर वो लोगों के पास जाता, कुछ ढूंढने की कोशिश करता। तो एक दिन एक आदमी ने उससे पूछा, अरे तुम क्या ढूंढते रहते हो? ये सुन के डायोजनीज कहता है, सिर्फ इंसानियत ढूंढने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं, यह तो दिख ही नहीं रही। तो ऐसा अतरंगी सा था हमारा डायोजनीज। उसके किस्से ग्रीस के कोने कोने में सुनाए जाते थे, और यही किस्से ग्रीस के उस वक्त के एक महान राजा ने भी सुने हुए थे। शायद आप जानते हो उन्हें, अलेक्जेंडर द ग्रेट। तो अलेक्जेंडर द ग्रेट निकले डायोजनीज से मिलने। एक दिन अपने तख्त पर बैठ के सेना के साथ निकल गए। उसी वक्त डायोजनीज अपने मटके के बाहर बैठे थे, मस्त धूप सेक रहे थे। अलेक्जेंडर आते हैं और कहते हैं, डायोजनीज, मैंने काफी सुना है तुम्हारे बारे में, बहुत खुश हूं मैं तुमसे। तो मांगो जो मांगना है, आज जो मांगोगे वो तुम्हारा। ये सुन के बैठा हुआ डायोजनीज खड़ा हो जाता है, अलेक्जेंडर के थोड़ा करीब आ जाता है और कहता है, हाँ, एक चीज मैं चाहता हूं, क्या आप थोड़ा बाजू हट सकते हैं? वो मैं मस्त धूप सेक रहा था, आप बीच में आ गए और फिर सारा मजाक किरकिरा हो गया। ये सुन के अलेक्जेंडर की हंसी छूट जाती है। इतने महान राजा से कभी कोई ऐसे बात ही नहीं करता था। ये सुन के अलेक्जेंडर कहते हैं, उफ, अगर मैं अलेक्जेंडर द ग्रेट नहीं होता तो मैं डायोजनीज होना पसंद करता। ये सुन के डायोजनीज सोच में वापस थोड़ा पीछे बैठ जाते हैं और सोच के कहते हैं कि अगर मैं डायोजनीज नहीं होता तो मैं भी तो डायोजनीज ही बनना चाहता। आह,
थैंक यू सो मच संस्कृति। और हमें यहाँ पर नूपुर की बोली बात याद आ रही है कि हमारी कहानियों में हम ही दिखते हैं। ऐसे ही इस फिलोसोफर में हम संस्कृति को देख पा रहे हैं, और हमें यकीन है कि संस्कृति, अगर संस्कृति नहीं होती तो भी वो संस्कृति ही बनना चाहती।
यस।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया इस कहानी के लिए संस्कृति। कैसा महसूस हो रहा है इस कहानी को खुद ही तैयार करके, खुद ही सुनाकर? बहुत ही कम वक्त में आपने इसकी तैयारी की, सो हाउ डज इट फील?
This time there was no anxiousness or nervousness. I could just say it out and get done with it. काफी कम टाइम में भी स्टोरी प्रिपेयर कैसी करनी है, पढ़नी कैसी है, रिहर्स how to recite it out. It became really easy. I need to thank people here. First of all, Ankit, thanks to you. I don't know मैं कैसे करती है. This course has been wonderful because of you. Second of all, I don't know if Vinanti is here or not. But अगर वो मुझे नहीं बोलती तो मैं perform नहीं करती इधर. Thank you, Vinanti, if you're here. And yes, Jemima. Jemima, thank you so much. Like relentlessly, she would available whenever, like we asked her to be there, she was there. So thank you so much. And yes, मेरे Oscar speech में कोई तो एक बाकी है. My best friend Sakshi, she's here and she's watching. So last time she was not here. So thank you. I think you saw me perform. मुझे बाद में बताना कैसा था. And to all of you, thank you so much for watching. Yes.
थैंक यू संस्कृति। मुझे लगता है ऑडियंस में से बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो अगर वो खुद ना होते तो वो भी शायद संस्कृति बनना चाहते। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दिस परफॉर्मेंस एंड वी मूव ऑन फ्रॉम दिस।
So next, we have a simple tale woven with faith, devotion, and the shadows of doubt. It speaks of a leap into the unknown and the miracles that follow. Let's hear A Man with an Invisible Face from Pranav.
So, the story happened 300 years ago, somewhere in Dakshin Karnataka. It was the tale of Parvati. Everyone called her Paru. Paru was 75 years old. She was a single mother, and her son Shampu, he was nearing 50. Parvati wanted to have a conversation with Shampu. So she said, Shampu, your father passed away long ago. I raised you practically all my life. I did a very good job. You are all grown up now. As you know, my days are numbered. Whatever few years left in my life, I just want to spend in the lap of Shiva. You know, I am a proud woman. I never asked anything from anybody. But this is something my heart desires. Can you take me to the Kashi? Shambhu said yes, but he knew that the journey is going to be long. From his town to Kashi, the distance was 2,000 kilometers. Even if they walk 50 kilometers a day, it is going to roughly take them 1.5 months to just reach Kashi and 1.5 months to come back. But nonetheless, he prepared, he packed some clothes and grains enough for 3 months, and both of them started walking. Paru, she was old. So after 5-7 kilometers, she gave up. She couldn't move forward. So she asked the sun, I can't move forward. The sun lifted her in her arm and he started walking. He was carrying a lot of luggage, almost 20-30 kgs, and he was holding mother. He's walking one foot after another and another. It was sweaty, it was humid, he was profusely sweating. Mother being mother, she did what best to comfort him. She took her pallu and started wiping his forehead. After a while, Shampu got tired, but he still didn't want to stop. He was determined. So he took her on it. Just like you take a sack of grain, and he started walking, one foot after another, and another, and another. He was just praying inside, Shiva, please don't let me fail. My mother asked this only thing. Give me strength to fulfill it. And he kept walking, pushing himself, walking, pushing himself. But finally, he was sapped of energy. He was about to quit, and in the distance, he heard a bell. He went there, and what he saw was a majestic bull, 10 foot in height, a huge guard. It was covered in mist. Something felt off, but no, there was a long journey and they just started. He didn't have energy, so he asked the rider, can you give us the ride? And rider said, hop on. Both of them went in, and Paro, she was tired, so she went to sleep. But Shambhu kept thinking, what has happened? What has happened? Something doesn't feel right. And once he went out of the thought train, he realized the journey was very smooth for a bull ride. It was as if they're sailing. He didn't feel any jerks. He didn't feel any movement. So he peeped out. And what he saw, the cart was not on the ground. Cart was floating midair. And then he looked at the wheels, and wheels, they were not moving. Oh my God. Still, cart was going forward. And then he looked at the bull, and bull was sitting. Yeah, cart was moving forward. Now, he just looked at the cartman. And cartman didn't have face. And now Shambhu got scared. He woke his mom and said, Mama, Amma. And he narrated the whole thing. He said, Amma, Yama came with a large buffalo for our lives. And Amma like, you fool, you have been farmer all your life and you can't distinguish between a buffalo and a bull? You woke me up for this? Shambhu said, Amma, trust me, this is Yama, I could feel it. And Paro said, no, this is Shiva. Amma, death has come for us. And Paro said, no, Shiva has come for us. I could feel it, sir. And they kept arguing for a long time. And I think the faceless man, the writer, he heard it. So he stopped and he finally said, Shambhu, indeed, I am Shiva. Your mother, she prayed to me. She called me. She's my greatest devotee. I love her. You know what? She never asked me anything in her entire life. But she saw you in Agni. She felt that you couldn't complete the journey. So she prayed to me for help. Paro asked this for first time, and I thought instead of sending one of my gannas, let me come personally. So I came. I think you should go home. I'll take her to Kashi. Don't worry about it. I could have taken you, but it seems that your faith on me is not as strong as your mother's. So don't worry. Go back home. Shambhu got down and cart vanished. Shambhu went back home, and everybody in the town started. They were saying that, oh, you're supposed to come back in 3 months, you come back in 3 days. You dumped your mother somewhere in the jungle, left her to die. And he said, no, no, no. My mother is in Kashi. And he said, oh, where is your wings? I thought you flew because it is impossible to come back from Kashi in 3 days. I said, no, definitely. Shiva came for us. He said, oh, Shiva, he himself came for you. Oh, you're making up stories. And everyone started whispering. Everyone started talking. Elders said that this boy is lying. And if we let this lie slide, every one of our children will do something like this. They will dump us in the jungle and not take responsibility. We shouldn't let this happen. Let's take this to Panchayat and we should have a justice. Panchayat heard everybody. They thought, they consulted, and finally everybody came to the conclusion that Shambhu indeed was lying. So they said, nothing doing. Let's beat him to death. You can't treat your mother like that, especially the one who raised you single-handedly. You are dumping her in jungle, abandoning her. That's not right thing to do. So beat him to death, and that's all. Everybody gathered. They took sticks, stones, whatever else they could find, and they started attacking Shambhu. And Shambhu thought to himself and said, Shiva, you said that my faith on you is not strong enough. Today I have a complete faith on you, but nobody else believes. So if you were indeed the Shiva, why don't you help me? And suddenly there was a glow, the glow of thousand suns. Everybody went blind. Nobody could open their eyes for a minute. And everybody thought Shambhu must have ran away. So when they regained their sight, they were searching for Shambhu in here, there. And Shambhu was sitting all there. Everybody was relieved. They looked at Shambhu and Shambhu was all glowing. Only thing is that Shambhu did not have face. It's as if Shambhu was there, but he was not there. Shiva was not there, but he was there. Thank you. Hello?
Pranav, amazing. So, how do you feel now?
Oh, nice. I just told everybody a story and I think few of them liked it.
Amazing. So, share your experience with us. How was the journey and why storytelling?
Oh, storytelling. Storytelling because as a kid I loved story. And you said fortunately, unfortunately, nobody told me stories. So whatever stories I had in my childhood, I just picked up the book and I started reading. So nobody actually told me stories per se, like you tell your children story. So when I became a father, I wanted to tell stories to my daughter, just to make up for what I have lost. And that's when I started getting interest in storytelling. And I think the journey started from there.
That was so beautiful, Pranav. Thank you.
I think you
Thank
are
you.
turning the cycle for the better. There are a lot many generations which have grown up hearing stories and are not telling stories to their children anymore. That's how stories are getting lost. And I'm really glad to hear that even though you did not grow up listening to stories, you have found a way to tell stories to your children, to your daughter. And I think that's starting of a beautiful cycle, which I hope will go on for
I
generations.
think she should continue this.
um, Thank you for this. Thank you for this work. No.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here, being supportive. And of course, thank you to you also.
Anything about the story, Pranav? Where is the story coming from?
Oh, so this is story my guru told me. This is story by Sadhguru. And the context of the story is that the path of bhakti or path of devotion is a blind faith. I mean, you do devotion and you pray to God, but every seeker in their life comes across the doubt whether God is there, what are we doing is worth it. So this story, Guru just told it very casually, for which I had to prepare. But no, Guru being Guru, he told it very casually. So I wanted to share this tale with everybody.
It's very interesting to hear stories from your guru and to pass it on. And it's a very interesting journey, this of us being students and not realizing someday when we ourselves become the guru and sharing on the stories and the lessons for others. Thank you so much, Pranav. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hmm. तो कुछ मुलाकातें यात्रा से भी बड़ी बन जाती हैं। वे हमारे अंदर ऐसे बस जाती है मानो एक गूंज हो जो कि समय के भी पार सुनाई दे। क्या आपको कभी ऐसा लगा है? तो हमारे आज की आखिरी कहानीकार है डॉक्टर स्वाति, जो हमें सुनाने जा रही है कहानी चिरे बहती। ओवर टू यू।
Thank you. अपूर्वा, ट्रेन में ना अगर तुमने स्ट्रेंजर अंकल आंटी लोगों से ढेर सारी बातें करनी शुरू कर दी ना तो समझ लेना। और अगर किसी ने कुछ खाने को दिया, लपक के उसको खाने मत लगना। और पिछली बार तुमने घर मेरा फोन नंबर और एड्रेस भी दे दिया था। प्लीज ऐसा मत करना। पता है ना पिछली बार क्या हुआ था? इतने सारे मैसेजेस, इतने सारे उटपटांग मैसेजेस आने शुरू हो गए थे। प्लीज ऐसा मत करना। मम्मा, I'm a grown-up girl. Stop treating me like a child. This was a conversation between me and my daughter in 2009 when we were moving from Bhubaneswar to Chittoor. नया शहर, नई नौकरी, नए लोग। लेकिन अपूर्वा मेरे इस निर्णय से खुश नहीं थी। उसका मन लग गया था भुवनेश्वर में अपने दोस्तों के साथ। लेकिन मैंने निर्णय कर लिया था। मैं और मेरे साथ मेरी 10 साल की बेटी और मेरे 9 बड़े बड़े बैग्स। आप बाय द वे मेरे 9 बड़े बैग्स को हल्के में मत लीजिएगा। ये मेरे आत्मसम्मान और स्वाभिमान का प्रतीक थे। मुझे लगता था कि अगर कभी किसी ने मेरे स्वाभिमान या आत्मसम्मान को ठेस पहुंचाई तो इन्हीं सारे बैग्स में मैं अपना सारा सामान पैक करूंगी और रफू चक्कर। बड़ा गर्व महसूस करती थी कि मैं अपने ऊपर अपना घर लेकर चलती हूँ। लेकिन अभी यही बड़े 9 बैग मेरी मुसीबत का कारण थे, क्योंकि चित्तूर रेलवे स्टेशन पे ट्रेन मात्र 2 मिनट के लिए रुकती थी, वो भी रात को 2 बजे। और मेरी बेटी एक बार अगर सो गई तो उसे उठाना बहुत मुश्किल था। बहरहाल इन्हीं सब सवालों से जूझते कोई मेरी मदद करेगा? क्या होगा मेरा? कैसे मैं इन सारी चीजों को हैंडल करूंगी? और मैं रेलवे स्टेशन पहुंची, भुवनेश्वर। हम ट्रेन के अंदर गए। एसी 2 टियर, ऊपर की बर्थ और नीचे की बर्थ हमारी थी। अपूर्वा बहुत खुश। बच्चों को ट्रेन बहुत अच्छी लगती है, सबको पता है। और नीचे की बर्थ पर एक बुजुर्ग महिला बैठी थी। ऊपर की बर्थ पर एक 40-45 वर्ष के सज्जन थे जिनका नाम था जॉन मैथ्यू। और हमें यात्रा के दौरान पता चला कि ये केरल की यात्रा कर रहे हैं और इनका परिवार रहता था यूएई में और ये अपने पैतृक निवास पर जा रहे थे केरल। थोड़ी ही देर में मेरी बेटी मेरी सारी हिदायतों को भूलकर जॉन अंकल की पक्की दोस्त बन गई थी। नीचे की बर्थ पर एक महिला बैठी थी जिनका नाम नीचे बैठी थी जो बहुत ही धार्मिक थी। उनके हाथ में एक माला थी जिसे वो रोसरी कह रही थी और उसका जाप कर रही थी। मेरी बेटी ने उस माला को देखा और कहा, बिल्कुल ऐसी ही माला मेरी बुढ़िया नानी के पास है, लेकिन उसके मोती ना बड़े बड़े हैं और वो उसको ऐसे लेके राम 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 करती है। ये बात उस धार्मिक महिला को अच्छी नहीं लगी और हम दोनों को देखकर भी वो कुछ खास खुश नहीं हुई थी। आराम से कहाँ वो यात्रा करने के सपने देख रही थी और ये कहाँ माँ बेटी। बच्चा है, चिल्लाएगा चीखेगा ही। इधर मेरी बेटी जॉन अंकल पता है मेरा मन लग गया था भुवनेश्वर में, लेकिन मेरी मम्मी उसको तो हर हर दिन कहीं ना कहीं जाना होता है। पता है ये मेरा 5वां स्कूल है। मैं क्या करूं जॉन अंकल? और जॉन मैथ्यू उसकी सारी बकवास बड़े ही प्यार से सुनते रहे और जब भी वो मुझसे बात करने की कोशिश करते मैं बहुत ही रूखे और कड़क स्वभाव में उत्तर देती। ऐसा मैं अनचाहे व्यक्तिगत सवालों से बचने के लिए करती हूँ। अक्सर यात्राओं में मैं कुछ ऐसे हो जाती हूँ, यस ओके नो वी आर गुड, इट्स ऑल राइट, सो व्हाट हैपेंड, और अपनी किताब के पीछे छुप जाती। लेकिन यहाँ मेरी बेटी, उसे कौन समझाया। एक जगह ट्रेन रुकने वाली थी और जॉन मैथ्यू ने कहा, अगर आपको कुछ चाहिए तो मैं लेकर आ सकता हूँ। मैंने कहा नहीं नहीं वी आर गुड। लेकिन मेरी बेटी, मामा पेप्सी, मामा पेप्सी। मैंने पर्स खोला, पैसे निकाले और जॉन मैथ्यू को जैसे ही देना चाहा वो ट्रेन से उतर चुके थे और वापस आए तो ढेर सारे लेस पैकेट, चॉकलेट्स और कोल्ड ड्रिंक। अपूर्वा की तो बल्ले बल्ले। इसी तरह रास्ता कटता गया, लेकिन मैं अभी भी उस चिंता में डूबी हुई थी और नीचे की जो महिला थी उनसे मैंने ज्यादा बातचीत करने की कोशिश नहीं की, क्योंकि अक्सर अकेले जब मैं यात्राएं करती हूँ तो लोगों के ऐसे सवाल, अच्छा तो आप अकेले जा रही हैं, आपके पति कहाँ हैं, अच्छा तो आपके पति आपके साथ नहीं रहते हैं, तो आप अकेले रहेंगे वहां पे जहां आप नौकरी करने जा रही हैं, वहां आपके भाई बहन माता पिता वो लोग नहीं रहेंगे। तो इन सब सवालों से बचने के लिए मैं एकदम खड़ूस सा मुंह बना लेती थी। लेकिन अपूर्वा को बहुत मजा आ रहा था जॉन मैथ्यू के साथ। खा पीकर अपूर्वा सो गई। रात को 2 बजे ट्रेन चित्तूर रेलवे स्टेशन पे पहुंचने वाली थी। मेरे सभी 9 बड़े बैग्स उनको लेकर मैंने दरवाजे के पास लगा दिया था। लेकिन मन ही मन डर लग रहा था, कहीं मैं इन 9 बैग्स में फंसी रही, 2 मिनट का स्टॉपेज है और मेरी बेटी कहीं वो ट्रेन में ही ना छूट जाए। मैंने उसको समझाया था, बेटा मैं एक बार आवाज लगाऊंगी, मम्मा बिजी रहेगी, तुम आ जाना। लेकिन बहुत डर लग रहा था। ट्रेन रुकने वाली थी और मैंने देखा जॉन मैथ्यू अपूर्वा का हाथ पकड़ के लेकर उसे आए। उन्होंने उसके जूते भी पहना दिए थे और ये भी देख लिया था कि उसकी कोई चीज छूटी नहीं है। अपूर्वा अपना छोटा सा खाना मंटेना वाला बैग लगा के और आ गई। उससे मैं आ गया। ट्रेन रुकी और जॉन मैथ्यू ने मेरी मदद की एक एक सामान उतारने में। जैसे ही मेरा आखिरी बैग उतर गया, थोड़ी ही देर के बाद ट्रेन चल दी और मैं कृतज्ञता भरे आंसू लेकर जॉन मैथ्यू को देखती रही। लेकिन मैं उन्हें शब्दों का आकार न दे सकी। लेकिन अपूर्वा, बाय बाय जॉन अंकल, बाय बाय जॉन अंकल। काश हम भी बच्चों जैसे सीधे और सरल हो पाते। मैं एक नई जगह पहुंची, बड़ा प्यार मिला, अपनापन मिला। एक सुंदर वादी में पहाड़ियों के पास मेरा घर था, जैसा मैं बचपन में सपने में सोचा करती थी। और वहां पे मैं भूल ही गई इस वाकये को। 2009 का ये वाकया था और 2020 में अचानक मैंने एक पुरानी ईमेल आईडी को रिवाइव करने का सोचा। और जब मैंने उसे खोला, वो उस समय शायद अपूर्वा इस्तेमाल करती थी। हाँ, मेरी कोई कही हुई कोई हिदायत उसे याद नहीं थी। उसने उन्हें ईमेल आईडी दी थी और जैसे ही मैंने उसे खोला, उसमें एक ईमेल था, फ्रॉम जॉन मैथ्यू, सब्जेक्ट होप यू आर ओके। और मैं निशब्द कंप्यूटर के स्क्रीन के पास बैठी रही।
थैंक यू मैम। मतलब जीवन में ऐसी कहानियां और ऐसे लोग हों तो क्या ही बात है। थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग दैट। हाउ आर यू फीलिंग मैम?
हैप्पी। और बस आप लोग कहानियां सुनाते रहिए। और सच कहूं, मैं अंकित को ये बात बताना चाहूंगी कि इस बार मुझे डर नहीं लग रहा था अंकित। और ये एक्चुअली कहानी हमारे एक शिक्षकों का ग्रुप है, एल कोर कहते हैं उसे, लर्निंग कम्युनिटी ऑफ रिफ्लेक्टिव प्रैक्टिशनर। और हमारी निर्जा का मेंटर यहाँ पर है। तो वहां पे हमने एक सीरीज शुरू की थी लेटर राइटिंग की। तो उन्होंने अपनी एक घटना, जो किसी ने उनकी मदद की थी रेलवे स्टेशन पर, तब ये कहानी, मुझे पता नहीं था ये कहानी मेरे अंदर है। और तब ये कहानी हमने पत्र के रूप में लिखी थी। लेकिन नीरजा का ने मुझे कहा कि स्वाति, इसको कहानी के रूप में बुनो, बहुत सुंदर रहेगी। तो मैंने इसको कहानी के रूप में बनाया। कभी कभी कहानियां हमारे अंदर होती हैं और हमें पता नहीं चलता है। और बड़ा दुख होता है कि आई वाज सो रूड टू दैट पर्सन, ही वाज सच अ डिसेंट मैन।
स्वाति जी, अगर आप ऑडियंस में से देखेंगे तो आपको कुछ जाने पहचाने चेहरे दिखेंगे।
Nirjaka is there. Yeah. And Ratnaka is there. Another Ratna I was talking about, she was there. Nirjaka, you there? Say something.
Hi, Swati.
Who's this? Let me make it a gallery view.
I'm Nanda.
Nandashri. Oh, wow.
Beautifully told. Beautifully told, Swati. Even
Thank
better
you,
than when you
Akka.
told me the first time. This is even better.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Akka. Thank you,
बहुत
Nanda, for coming here. It was such a beautiful surprise. Thank you. I think my sister is also here. I know she won't speak, but thank you, Gudiya, for coming.
Is it just your sister? Do you want to also do the round?
Okay. Don't tell me Apurva is here. Chutu, you there? Oh my God.
Maybe I'm here.
Okay.
I was waving at you for so long now. What is this?
Oh God.
So Apurva, may I ask you, did she overact for your role?
Okay. First of all, I've come here as the truth sayer. It was my sixth school, madam, not my fifth. Let's start there. And I don't think actually the rest of it I think was pretty. I think she was nicer to me than she should have been. But yeah, that was quite accurate actually. But yeah.
Oh my God. Chutu, you didn't tell me you're coming. Come on.
Yeah, otherwise, how would I have gotten to see your face like this?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think John Matthew should hear the story.
I think it was, okay, I can't reveal that. It was his email ID old, so he didn't respond. I did respond that I reached safe, and yeah, he was
This is the
worried
world
that
of social media. We should put it on social media and say, John Matthew, if you are there.
There are so many. I tried everything. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Swatiji, for all the work you have done with all the storytellers. Swatiji is one of the mentors who were there for this course, and particularly who mentored a lot of people for this performance. And also, I think she's gone through this long journey of storytelling herself, learning all the way also in 2021. Then also going to England to even love stories and storytelling even more, and come back and work with even more teachers. So we really look forward to having more courses coming from you, more communities coming from you, and we look forward to see you shine and bloom in all parts of the country, travel and tell stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ankit. I mean, thank you for keeping storyteller alive in me. I love my job, I love my passion, but my real passion is storytelling. And thank you for this opportunity, blessing, and yeah, all the people. How can I forget Jemima? Sorry, I'm taking some Jemima, my queen. Where are you? Love you so much. Thank you for holding my hand, and I really want to thank all my gurus, Roy, Karmeet, Ankit. I know he doesn't like that, but thank you, Ankit.
Thank you so much, Swati, for this story and also telling how stories can be coming out from our own lives, the little moments that we have in our lives, and how we can live them as stories and tell them.
Yeah, Ankit, we were actually talking about nuances, to how what kind of education or bringing up or environment these children, these people like John Matthew and Nijaka had interaction with somebody. So we want to bring those things in our classroom as a teachers, that how to bring that in our students, that they become so caring and selfless and help people like their own family. Yeah.
I think you are answering one of a crucial question that a lot of teachers ask. Ki, okay, we are willing to tell the stories, but अब कहानियां लाएंगे कहाँ से? Where are we going to find the stories? And I think you're telling us that how our own lived lives are such a rich source of all so many stories. And true person stories are some of the most fantastic stories that we can begin with before we move on and tell also stories of other people. So thank you, Swati. But this is not the end of the evening. We often have the world of the story is very cyclic, and wherever we start, we often end and go back there. So, in the very beginning, we had a storyteller named Koheli with her story, but at that point, we did not have many members of the audience who joined us a little late. So I think it would be lovely end of the evening to hear once again the story that we began with. So I would love to welcome Koheli and her fantastic folktale just as a way to celebrate this evening and end this evening with this story. So welcome Koheli, and whenever you're ready, we can start.
खाने में क्या होगा? हर सुबह उठते ही बिरजू का पहला सवाल यही होता था। बिरजू को खाना बहुत पसंद था। एक दिन बिरजू की बीवी ने कहा, अजी सुनते हो, मुझे मायके जाना है। बिरजू को अपने ससुराल जाना बड़ा पसंद था। उसकी सासू माँ उसके लिए नए नए पकवान जो बनाती थी। अगले दिन शाम को थके हारे वो लोग ससुराल पहुंचे। थोड़ी ही देर में सासू माँ ने खाना परोसा। वाह, क्या महक! जल्द ही बिरजू ने खाना चखा और क्या स्वाद! सासू माँ, ये क्या है? मैंने पहले कभी इतना स्वादिष्ट खाना नहीं खाया। जमाई राजा, इसे खिचड़ी कहते हैं। चावल, दाल, सब्जी में घी और मसाले का छोंक लगाकर इसे बनाते हैं। अच्छा, मैं कल घर जाकर मेरी माँ को खिचड़ी ही बनाने के लिए कहूंगा। अगले दिन सुबह बिरजू अपने गांव के लिए रवाना हो गया। नए पकवान का नाम ना भूल जाए, इसलिए वो खिचड़ी 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 कहते हुए रास्ते पे चलने लगा। अचानक धड़ाम! ओई माँ, मेरा पैर! बिरजू एक बड़े से गड्ढे में गिर गया था। मगर खाने का नाम वो तो बिरजू भूल गया। क्या था, क्या था? हाँ, खाचड़ी। तो अब वो खाचड़ी खाचड़ी कहते हुए रास्ते में आगे बढ़ने लगा। सामने ही एक किसान अपने खेत में बीज बो रहा था। जैसे ही बिरजू उसके पास से गुजरने लगा, उसने सुना खाचड़ी खाचड़ी। ये सुन के किसान को बड़ा गुस्सा आया। पास पे पड़ी हुई एक लाठी उठाकर उसने बिरजू की दे दनादन पिटाई की। परेशान बिरजू पूछा, अरे मैंने किया क्या है? मैं यहाँ बीज बोने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं और तू बोल रहा है खाचड़ी? तो मैं क्या बोलूं? बोल उड़चड़ी। तो अब बिरजू उड़चिड़ी कहते हुए रास्ते में आगे बढ़ने लगा। सामने एक बहलिया जाल बिछाकर पंछी पकड़ने की कोशिश कर रहा था। जैसे ही बिरजू उसके पास से गुजरा, उसने सुना उड़चिड़ी उड़चिड़ी। ये सुनकर बहलिए को बड़ा गुस्सा आया। वो दौड़ के आया और बिरजू की दे दनादन पिटाई करने लगा। फिर से परेशान बिरजू पूछा, मैंने अब क्या? तो फिर मैं क्या बोलूं? बोल आचड़ी आचड़ी। तो अब बिरजू आचड़ी आचड़ी कहते हुए रास्ते में चलने लगा। शाम हो रही थी। बिरजू दुकानदार को आवाज लगाई, ओ दुकानदार भाई, मेरे लिए एक आचड़ी ला दो। दुकानदार हैरान होकर बिरजू को घूरने लगा। आचड़ी? ये कौन से खाने का नाम है? ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं होता। बिरजू हंसा। अरे कल ही मेरी सासू माँ ने मुझे आचड़ी खिलाया है, तुम्हें बनाना नहीं आता होगा। ये सुनकर बिरजू दुकानदार को बड़ा गुस्सा आया। उसने आसपास के सब लोगों को बुलाया और कहने लगा, ये देखो, इस पागल को आचड़ी खाना है। आज सब मिलकर इसे आचड़ी खिलाते हैं और सब मिलकर उसकी दे दनादन पिटाई करने लगे। इत्तेफाक से बिरजू की माँ वहीं से गुजर रही थी। इतना हल्ला सुनकर वो दुकान के अंदर आ गई। जैसे ही उसने भीड़ हटाया और बिरजू को वहां पे देखा, वो चीखी, हे भगवान, ये तुम लोगों ने क्या किया है? मार मार कर मेरी बिरजू की तो खिचड़ी ही बना डाली। जैसे ही बिरजू ने ये सुना, उसकी आंखें चमक उठी, उसके चेहरे पर एक मुस्कान छा गई और उसने कहा, हाँ हाँ, मुझे खिचड़ी ही तो खानी है। Thank you everyone once again.
That was lovely, Koheli.
Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Koili, for honoring our request and coming back once again to tell this story and to end this evening with this fantastic story of yours. Thank you so much for finding and preparing and bringing us this story. Stories are never complete without the listeners. And among the listeners, I could notice that there are many members in the audience who had their camera on and who were smiling and sharing their love with us. I think I would want to give opportunity to the audience if some members of the audience would like to unmute and speak just to share how they felt to hear these stories. I think Yash is a person I can see. Yeah, and if you can unmute and speak
Yeah.
how it felt, because we loved your smile throughout the event, and we really
Yeah.
want to thank you for being here, and we would love to hear some words from you.
Yeah, like attending this was like I thought कोई छोटे like book reading this होगा, but this was just so much amazing. And I think the first story was Koheli, and I was just, oh my God, like my evening is so great now. It was such an amazing. All the storytellers had done like amazing job. Unka narration and the enactment, it was something which I hadn't experienced like in a long time. I have not experienced, I think. It was so nice to see that up close and them doing it. It was just like amazing. Thank you so much. Like I don't know, actually, Sarvika ne shared in the story. So I thought like, okay, I wanted to attend, but I registered, but I didn't kind of follow through. So I thought like let me attend like now that I see. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ankit. For like even you sent the link to me when I just messaged you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarvika.
I'm so happy you came. Like, I got a message on Instagram at 3 o'clock that I want to come. I'm like, Aja, just come. And we very recently know each other. We are not old friends. So I was very excited to have someone new in my life, coming and seeing. And in fact, we connected over children's stories. We're a part of a group that reads children's books together. So that's how we know each other. So I was very happy that, I'm getting more and more people from outside to this circle as well. So yeah, I'm very happy
Stories
you
and
came.
storytelling are such great gifts to offer, isn't it? And also an
Yeah.
invitation to join one community from another. I think that's lovely. Thank you, Sarvika, for bringing Yash and all other members of the audience. We do have the time to perhaps hear a few of us. So I would now request Nikhileshwari, whose hand we can see.
Yeah. First of all, Ankit, you've done a great job. I think I came in contact with you last year sometime when you said in the month of August you're going to have something like this online and I would like to join and things like that. Somehow it got slipped out. But thank you very much for connecting up with me and giving me an opportunity of listening to such beautiful women. The way, I mean, of course, the both of them, it was, I think, only one or two men, and the rest of them were our women clan. We have proved ourselves that we are the best storytellers. And a big hand to all those who have really done a wonderful job here. I wish that I am also in the other side of the screen, the way you guys are doing, along with Ankit, because this is something when I asked him, he said he's taking it up as a project to make storytelling a way to link to people, the children, everything. Even I agree with that a lot because this is one place where we fall into the groove, and then you are, the grinding machine is going on and on and on and on and on. Anyway, a very nice job done. I'm very happy to be a part of this thing. Thank you, Ankit, once again.
Thank you, Nikleshwari. Now that you mentioned it, I can actually recall our
Yes.
connection last year.
Yes.
Thank you for that reminder. Anybody else who is here in the audience? You have heard us for 2 hours. And so I can imagine there must be an urge to also express and speak something. So feel very free to unmute yourself and share your thoughts. I think I can see Aruna. We'll
Yes.
perhaps start with Aruna. Yeah.
This is today Nikhileshwari gave me the link and I joined. And it's a beautiful experience. As a child, I used to listen to a lot of stories and was very fond of listening to stories as a child and grew up with a lot of stories and story sessions and all that. And the memories have come back now with so much animation the people are telling, and it's so sweet. Really, everybody has done an excellent job, and somehow, no, in this age, the purity of storytelling has come back once again. And I'm very happy to hear this. And you're doing a very good job bringing people together like this, like a sweet family. I liked it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that word of family.
Sorry for
It
cutting in
does feel
between.
like a family. Yes,
Ankit,
Nikhileshwari.
Arunaji still loves to tell stories, and she shares beautiful stories. Let me tell you that. And one more thing, I think it's time, Ankit, you have to make it to Hyderabad now. Last time also I asked you for this.
I would. Yes. I say yes to everyone.
Yeah.
And then
No,
don't
because
show
last
up.
time you said I will try, but this time at least I have heard that I would. So I wish you could. The word I would like to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
because let me tell you something. Both me and Arunaji are pranic healers, and we deal with little children orphanages and this thing, apna mentally challenged children. And this is the best way we can make them understand. And you know that generally mentally challenged children have a lot of anxiety issues. Stories make a difference.
Thanks to the group like this, I think now we are 80 strong in many parts of India and even some in the West. So I think in a few months, I think there will be more of us in every city willing to share and willing to care and willing to learn from each other and serve any communities that we want to serve. So you wouldn't even need me. There'll be, I can promise that in a time of a year, there would at least be 10 fantastic storytellers and volunteers in the city of Hyderabad itself. And we're really looking
Thank
forward
you
to
so much.
such
So be
great.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, by the way, we are taking a leave because we have our session of meditation next and we need to move.
Great.
Okay?
Thank
Thank you, each one of you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Once again, any member of the audience who wants to say something before we close the evening? And just a reminder that this is not over yet. This is just the half of it. Today was the day one of performances, and tomorrow there is another day and another 10 stories and 14 storytellers that await you. So, more stories and more storytelling is promised for tomorrow. Please do come. It's going to be the same leap. And you can join us right at 4 and enjoy 2 more hours of stories and storytelling. Anju wants to say something. So, Anju, over to you.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hi, sir.
Yes,
Good evening.
We can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, it was a wonderful. I got this link from Meghna, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please
It was
share.
a wonderful, wonderful session. I should say hip hip hooray to everyone. It was so good. I was really engrossed in each and everyone's stories, and I love it. And I'm so thankful to Meghna. She has given me the link so I could hear each and everyone. Thank you, Ankit sir. Thank you so much. Do keep doing all this again more and more.
I think that's a very good reminder to not stop here and keep doing this over and over again wherever we can, whenever we can. Thank you so much, Anjali, for that. I think with this, we're coming towards a close, the end of the evening. The storytellers are also welcome to speak. The other members of Teachers Telling Tales, those who have been very patient here as listeners, listening to all these stories. So I think we'll open the platform for any sharing that you want to do. But formally, we can call this evening closed, and we invite all the members of the audience to also please do come again tomorrow, right at 4 for another 2 hours of storytelling. Now we are free to stay and free to leave. If you want to continue listening to some of the conversations, you can stay. Yeah, Srilekha.
Ankit, this afternoon when the session began, my husband and I were shopping, and right through we were driving back. My husband was hearing every story and he just loved it. He said, Bangalore traffic. I think next time when we go shopping, we should have one session like this where your colleagues are telling stories. थकानी महसूस नहीं हुआ मुझे. We went to Metro Cash and Carry on Kanakpura Road, and we are back home now in Hennur. A distance of about 25 kilometers. It took us exactly 2 hours. The moment Kuheli started her story first time, and now I entered the house when she ended it. It was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Srilekha. And because your video was on, we could actually see the journey with you. This journey of the car and this journey
Yeah.
of shopping.
I'm so happy that Akka also was there online. Nirja.
Yeah. She might still be here or she might have just left. But she
Maybe
did
she's
leave a
left.
lot of
Maybe she's
messages
left.
in the chat that I would encourage all of you
Yeah,
to
yeah.
also hear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think if I'm right, I can see in the audience Pallavi ji, Pallavi Mishra. She's the author and creator of this fantastic book called Orcha Ki Kimvidantiyan, which is one of my very favorite book with narratives. I would like to see if she's still in the audience and if she would like to unmute and speak a few words, perhaps.
Hi, Ankit. Yes, I'm here.
Would you like to come on video and please share words?
I'm
with
actually
us?
feeding my child, so I can't.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. I'll just introduce you on your behalf, or you can introduce yourself.
But yeah, but I was listening to the stories. It's such a lovely thing that you've put together. I'm attending this for the first time, so it was an absolute delight to listen to some of those. I couldn't attend it fully because a lot of life has changed since we met last. So now I have a 6-month-old daughter. So she heard some of the stories as well. That is actually one of the reasons which I joined. Now that I started reading to her, it's nice to listen to some stuff.
Thank you so much. I think there's an interesting connection it happened. So I was in a museum in Bhopal and I found a book and I opened the book and I loved it. It had the illustrations of a place called Orcha, which is a very historic place, which were made in a very creative way and with some short narratives, Kimvadantiya, as it's called, the oral stories. So it was the oral stories of Orcha that was kind of a result of a student project done by Pallavi. And I traced Pallavi and I found Pallavi, and then we used her book also as a resource to teach some government schools children on how to create media. So it's such a great joy to have you here as like the other end of the cycle to meet once again. And now that you have a daughter or a child to tell more stories to, I think the circle completes itself.
Definitely, Ankit.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pallavi. And I really recommend seeing this book. It's called Orcha Ki Kivadantiya. And yeah, and we really hope that you bring more and more such works, Pallavi. Thank you so much for that contribution.
We'll definitely try, Ankit. Kudos to you.
Anybody else in the audience who feels like talking? Jem? Yes, Jem.
Hi, I am so sorry I was not able to join you in the beginning of the from the beginning of the performance. I was busy with my own workshop. However, I was able to join in, I think, just before 5 o'clock, and just when Nupur was about to go on stage. And oh, what a journey it's been. I've just been just so grateful for everybody's performance and showing up every time. I think this is something that is so special when we show up for each other, even if we are not able to kind of, make such huge differences with our feedbacks, our sometimes very generous feedbacks, but that we show up every time. And I love you guys for showing up for me also every time. And for those of you who thanked me for showing up, you're more than welcome. uh, it, our growth watching each storyteller. Sanskriti, this morning when I was busy with my own notes getting ready, she said, one round of practice. I said, sure, anytime. And that, I almost regretted it because it almost went into 1.5 hours, I think. But at the end, we were able to kind of, the conclusion that we came to, the changes that we made, it all came out so beautifully today. And then I realized that this is why we come together, and this is why we give that extra time, that time that we were not expecting to kind of have of each other, but it makes it all worth it. And then this platform showcases that. And so thank you. Thank you also for those of you who shared, from the audience also, for appreciating the collective effort of teachers telling tales. Now it's more like storytellers telling tales, which is so lovely. Ankit, of course, the great godfather, grandfather of everyone. Your feedbacks, no matter how tired you are, you always show up. I mean, we can see the madness in your hair also, standing like that plant behind me. But then you show up every time, full, 100%, everyone. So to be a part of this, always growing, always learning, it's been my pleasure, my honor, my privilege.
Thank you, Jem. I want to take a moment to thank people who performed for the first time today. Kuheli, and Manisha, and Uditi, and Nupur, and Radha, and Twinkle, and Pranav, and also Dr. Swati on this platform who performed for the first time. So I really want to congratulate you. I know how hard it can be to show up and to perform for the first time in front of such a large audience, many strangers, many familiar faces, and this nervousness that we feel, and yet to sit with it and to laugh with it and to come with it and to tell stories. I really congratulate you for this challenge that you took. And also congratulating Sanskriti and Sunanda for doing this twice now and becoming almost veterans with it. So thank you all for doing this.